All right, keeping it rolling with lesson 9.3. So, kickoff, point 2, -1 is reflected over the line, y equals 1. What are the new coordinates of reflected image? So, if we draw our little deal here, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. All right, so if we're at 2, 1, we're a 2, -1, 1, 2, down 1. And if we have our line cutting through here at 1, well, we're 2 below, so we're going to go 2 above. So if this is P, this would be P prime. So same distance away, you're going to be that far away from the line, and you're always perpendicular moving to the line. So for a horizontal line, we're moving up and down, so we're reflecting our Y's. Our X's don't change. Okay? So today, we're going to be doing rotations, which is the third isometry. So what we're doing is we're rotating it around a center of rotation. So it's a point, a certain angle of rotation. Now, positive numbers go clockwise, and then a positive number of degrees. So we either go clockwise or counterclockwise. We're always going to go clockwise unless we state otherwise. Or counterclockwise, sorry, counterclockwise. Okay, if I could read, that would be great, right? So we're going to assume counterclockwise. That's positive rotation. Negative would be clockwise. So if you always see like, hey, rotate 50 degrees, well, that's positive. So we're going to go counterclockwise. Why they decided positive is counterclockwise, I don't have a good answer for that. But I'm sure you could Google it and find it. So what we're going to do is we're really going to do a construction. So to do this, we're going to take a triangle, which as you see down here, this will be the example we do. But we're going to use a protractor to do that. So we're going to lay it on there. We're going to measure our degrees, and we're going to change every point by that angle. We're then going to use the compass to measure a point on each angle. So from our center of rotation out to that point, and we rotate it around our certain amount, and then we draw on our angle, whatever angle we're at, and then we can fill those in with a straight edge to make our new figure. So what I mean by that is this. So right now, I don't have a triangle, so we're going to draw a triangle ABC. Now, I'm not going to make it too crazy of a triangle, but this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now, we're going to rotate it 100 degrees around, and I'm going to put point D right here. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to make a little light line, and I should use a pencil here if I had a pencil. Grabbing a pencil. So we're going to make a light line here, so we're going to use that for our measuring around here in just a second. But we just want, come on, pencil. So light line going out to that corner. We're then going to rotate, and we're going to the next corner here. So again, I'm going to draw a little line. And that's just going to help when we're measuring this out. So don't want very dark lines, but we want to center. So like on this protractor, our X here, that's our center line. We center that up. Now this here, hard to tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here and I'm going to draw these out further. And again, it's just to make it easier for us then to measure these out. Using our protractor here. So now if I go back, so now you can see they go all the way out to the end. So just to make sure, I'm going to line this up at 0. So if we're going 100 degrees, we're going to use the inside one. So we're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So we're going to go to right here. So I'm going to put my little dot. So then I'm going to rotate it. So now I want to line up the next line with my 0. And again, going out to 100. And then I'm going to go to my next line and go into 100. So then I can come back to here. And again, we're going to draw light lines out to each of these three. Okay. So next comes in our compass. So just like what we've done before with our compass, we want to put the metal point here on this first point, and we're going to do our first line, which is B. So if I rotate that around, where we intersect with our first line is going to be right there. So this intersection now is going to be where B has been moved to, so we're going to call that B prime. Then I'm going to go to my next line, which is going to be C here, which is going to be a little bit shorter. Okay, we rotate this around. So since we're doing the second one, we go to our second line, and where we intersect here, this is C prime. And then lastly, we're going to go to A, which is our far one. So if we go all the way out to here, and then we rotate around, we're going to hit our third line, and we're going to call this one A prime. Okay. So lastly, we can take our straight edge here, which I'm going to use off the protractor, and we're just connecting our lines. So there's that one. Here's that one. And lastly, that one. So, took our shape, copied it over, and we've rotated it around 100 degrees around our point D. Now, we've gone counterclockwise here, so we're rotating down and around since we're positive 100. Okay? Now, that's part of this. So we're actually going to take things, rotate them around. Other things involve like an actual image here. So an actual shape, I should say, not necessarily an actual image, because they're all images. So we have regular pentagon PENTA, which is divided into 5 congruent triangles. So pentagon, I'm going to draw this out. This is probably, not going to come out real nice. But hey, it works. So in the very center here, then, is our point. Now, these are supposed to be congruent triangles, so just go with it. So PENT and A. So if this is our central spot, and we're going to call this, let's go X. So our center X there. If we do a 72-degree rotation about X, well, hey, that's X worked out. Glad I picked X because I didn't read my directions. So always read directions. There's your little reminder. So if you think about it, a pentagon all the way around is 360 degrees. Well, if we take 360 and we divide it by the 5 corners that we have, so 5 goes into that 7, which would leave us with 10, which is 72 degrees. So each point here is a 72-degree rotation about X. So this is the other side of it. We can take this and see, okay, well, how are we rotating these shapes? So if we're at E, a 72 rotation about X would be 72 degrees counterclockwise, which would be P. So that's what the point would be. So in this case, E acts as our pre-image, P then is our image. So then if we're an image of P for a 216-degree rotation, well, if we're starting at P, so 72, another 72 puts us at 144, and another one would put us at 216. So that is at N, is what we're working with here, all right? So same thing here. Here we actually have the shape, so we didn't need to draw it. So we can find rotational images in different types of Native American art. If the design below, how many degrees are in the angle of rotation about C that maps Q to X? So we're going about C, and we're going from Q over to X. Now we're going positive, so we're going to go counterclockwise here. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these points. Well, the next question would be, well, how much is each point? Well, if we start here at Q and we go all the way around, we'd be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different points. So again, if we take 360 divided by 8, 8 goes in 360, well, 4 times. Yeah, which is 32, and we'd have 40 left over, which is 5. So each one is a 45-degree rotation. So if we do 5 points, we're going to go 45 times 5. So 5 times 20, so 225. So how big of a rotation are we? Well, a 225-degree rotation about X, or about C to map Q to X. Now, if it was counterclockwise, we'd go the other way and just go 1, 2, 3. Well, 3 times 45 would be a negative 135 degree. But again, that's if we went clockwise. Well, we're going counterclockwise. So unless it states to go clockwise, always go counterclockwise. But just keep that in mind. Clockwise is negative. Counterclockwise is positive. So we can also do a composition of rotations about the same point. And pretty much it's just we're going to add those angles together to get a full rotation. So like if we have kites here that we're going to do a composition of 30 degrees and then a 60-degree rotation, we're really just going to add those two together. So if I just, and this is quick example here. So if I have, say, point A, and I'm rotating around point D, well, again, if I make this line here, and I should have used my pencil, but if I go 30 degrees, well, 30 is right here, so then I would draw this here line. So now again, if I rotate around, so now if I go 60 degrees, I'd be right here. So in essence, I've gone my 30 degrees and then another 60 degrees. So I've really gone 90 degrees with my rotation. So when it comes to a composition, if we have multiple rotations around that same point, we just add those two angles together. And we're really just going to do that one full turn to the 90. Now, I could have drawn out a kite and did all that, but this is the same idea of, hey, if we take this here, we're going to rotate around and we're going to be at this point here, really in the end, even though like this would be a prime. So just, you could rotate it, do it, and then rotate it again, or we just go the full 90 right off the bat and we can add those two angles together. So could have done it just like the front here. We draw those out, draw those lines, use our compass, protractor, rotate that around. Same idea. If A would have been that kite, we would have rotated it 30 and then rotated another 60. Or we could have just started from the end and go, okay, well, 30 and 60 is 90, so we'd rotate it 90, and you're going to get to the same point in the end. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Otherwise, till next time, we'll talk to you later.